Butterfly has always had a reputation as a grueling stroke, but that's because so many people swim butter struggle. We'd like to change that by teaching you a style that is relaxed, flowing, and enjoyable. The drills and skills on this video will teach you to swim much farther without fatigue. They'll also develop the foundation to swim with unprecedented speed and power by swimming with your body instead of your arms and legs. You'll see two styles of butterfly here. TI head coach Terry Laughlin will show you a style we call Butterfly for Boomers, which is ideal for swimmers of any age. Terry used it to overcome 40 years of butter struggle and learn an efficient fly at age 55. TI coach Stefan Bill demonstrates butterfly as swum by those who may be younger and stronger or have more natural aptitude for fly. Our high-efficiency version of butterfly will help you maintain your stroke and speed for greater distances. Our step-by-step series of exercises is designed to lead naturally and almost effortlessly from the most basic drill to the whole stroke. You'll learn faster and easier if you take the time to thoroughly understand how your body responds to each subtle movement. Always focus on increasing ease, flow, and integration rather than trying harder. So let's begin learning. We're at my home pool and we're going to be shooting a butterfly video today. And the lessons I'll be showing you on this video are the steps I followed to be able to learn to swim butterfly at the age of 55 this year after 40 years of frustration. The purpose of the Streamline Dolphin is to lengthen the body line. First thing we're going to do is experiment with if I just move my shoulder blades forward and back. And it might be a good idea when you practice to do this exercise yourself before you do it. But if I just move my shoulder blades forward and back, how much of a dolphin I can create without adding chest press and without adding toe flick. You can see my hips, torso, and legs undulating, but I'm not trying to make that happen. My complete focus is on extending my shoulder blades. Spreading my arms enables the rest of my body to respond to fairly subtle movement in front. Now, I didn't breathe on that because I wanted to focus entirely on how my body responded to moving my shoulder blades forward, extending my body line in the front. The effect of moving the shoulder blades is it pulls on the mid-back, and that pulling on the mid-back causes the hips to go through the dolphin action. What I'll do now is consciously add a chest press to that motion. I'm not going to add the toe flick yet. We'll just see how much more dynamic the movement gets. I still won't breathe on this. I also haven't turned on the current yet because I don't really need it when the movement's this gentle. Though I'm pressing my chest here, I'm not diving. My head barely submerges with each pulse. Now this is a 35-foot pool, and that's really plenty of space for me to get movements that are that basic and that gentle right. I'm not focused on anything except getting a better feel for how my body responds as I add another element to the movement. Now you may have seen my feet move there. I felt the move, but I wasn't consciously trying to move them. They were simply responding to two movements, the extension of my shoulder blades and adding some chest press. What I'll do now is consciously add a toe flick and we'll see how much more dynamic the whole movement gets, because what we're doing is gradually building a whole body dynamic into this movement. When I integrate my legs, I do it only with a light flick of my toes. Even so, connecting everything from hands to feet provides the power to propel me farther on each pulse. Now, while I was conscious that time of adding the toe flick, I'm not turning it into a kicking exercise. I'm really just trying to create a whole body dynamic, adding one piece at a time, and I added the legs and the feet to it that time. One thing that's important as you bring the feet into it is not to let the feet come out of the water, because it breaks the tone of the whole body line. The effect, the power, is created by connecting all the pieces of the body in unison, working together. And if the feet come out, it breaks the tone of the whole body line. So just let the heels and the soles of the feet come to the surface. So watch for that this time. Quiet dolphins are much more efficient than splashy kicking. Crossing the pool in 7 dolphins rather than 11 confirms how much efficiency I've gained. I really haven't included breathing yet in this movement, because breathing's not integral to it, and to some degree, including the breath, can get in the way of your being able to feel that body coordination I've been talking about. And I've been going short distances, so I don't need a breath. But if you want to add the breath, what you're trying to do is avoid this sort of movement in your breathing, and try to do it with this sort of movement. Where the head rises and sinks as a natural part of the body's undulation, but you don't add chin movement to it. So now I'll add breath. I'll breathe in frequently, so I can mainly concentrate maybe 2 or 3 pulses on just getting the movement the way it was, and then fit in a breath and keep the movement the same. Now that's the beginning of imprinting what we call a sneaky breath, which will be very important when we swim the whole stroke, and in fact is important in all the drills. The progression from here, once you've done a few of them, is to just gradually increase the frequency of the breath. From there I was breathing every 3 or 4 pulses to the point where you can breathe every other pulse, and then perhaps every pulse. On this one I'll breathe every other pulse. Practicing no-breather dolphins helps imprint a long, streamlined body line that channels energy forward. Notice how stable Stefan's head is, how light and compact his hand movement is, and how little he bends his knees. The critical action here is a light, rhythmic chest press that elongates his body and lifts his hips, keeping his legs relaxed. Breathing can be a challenge in Streamlined Dolphin. I'm trying to minimize my head movement, but without a hand skull, it's difficult. Even a slight head lift causes me to be less streamlined than Stefan. Breathing becomes integral to the movement in the next drill, Sculling Dolphin. All right, on Streamlined Dolphin, my focus was on lengthening my body line and having upper body, hips, and legs all work together. The second exercise is the Sculling Dolphin. And what we do in the Sculling Dolphin is add an element of active hands. starting to move the hands outward to trap water, and then streamline them again. And as you streamline, spear forward, streamlining the whole body. Now, while I won't be breathing on this one, I will be consciously adding a little element of streamlining my head between my arms every time I go forward with my hands. Notice how I scull gently and streamline my head with subtlety. I'm going to introduce breathing into the sculling dolphin by being aware that as I trap water and then spin the hands inside on my way back to streamlining, just as I turn in, my body lifts a little bit. And I want to feel that body lift as an opportunity to fit in the breath. So my breath is a natural part of my body action and not something that happens on its own. While breathing reduced efficiency in Streamline Dolphin, here it actually becomes an advantage because it makes the whole movement more dynamic. Now, the second thing that happens naturally as a result of that in-sweep is that as my shoulders lift, my knees bend, and as I drive forward again and spear forward and streamline everything, that is the most natural time to add the toe flick. So I haven't consciously put the toe flick into the sculling dolphin yet. I'll do that now, but again, I'm just going to try to feel it as a natural result of the lift that's created here, and then coordinate the toe flick with my drive forward. So I feel as if my toe flick actually drives my hands forward. My focus is on feeling my toe flick help extend my body with more energy and power. I do that by linking movement rather than increasing effort. I haven't turned on the current yet, but now as that movement is becoming more of a whole body dynamic, there's more power being released every time I pulse and get everything involved. I'm going to need the current because I'm getting up to there in just about 4 or 5 pulses, where before it was taking 8 to 10. So we'll turn on the current now. We'll practice with a gentle current and doing a sculling dolphin with everything working together. I get a moment of rest by waiting for the air in my chest to return me to the surface. As that happens, I begin to scull out, but keep my body streamlined. Practice with these focal points. Spear yourself to where you can hold the water.